Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Frogman, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Last episode, we did a little bit of goofing around in base, and we got ourselves a kind of a spot set up and figured out where we're going to build compacted coal. So I figured I'd come blowing back in here with the train and kind of get a little bitty overview of what the plans are, or at least what I have a thought in my head as to how we want to continue with this little project. So wait for it. Stop. Good train. Turn off self-driving so that it doesn't try to run off with us. Not that I think it can go anywhere. It doesn't really matter. So, in between episodes, at the end of the last episode, I kind of blew up a bunch of the leftover stuff that's laying around down here and kind of got some of the other sticks and trees and weeds and whatnot out of the way. And then I started playing around with a little bit of a building design. This is just assemblers. This is just assemblers. This doesn't need to be pretty. This doesn't need to be silly. This doesn't need to be, you know, like we could go a lot prettier with some stuff. So what I wanted to kind of do, at least with this, is we're going to do it kind of in a separate design because we need about an even number of assemblers, generally speaking. I think it's 42, so we're going to put, 21 over here and 21 over there. Kind of, although they're going to be kind of whatever. Basically what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of make the system kind of work so that it looks reasonably decent. I don't really care about exactly whether or not it's going to be fancy or flashy, but we are going to kind of play around a little bit with, well, doing some belting and some spacing and some fun stuff that we can kind of start to do now that we have the soft clearances that were introduced in Update 5. And that's something we've kind of played around with here and there with a couple of other little things. So today what we're going to do is we're going to play around with another mod that's going to allow us to make some of this look kind of cool. So I have already in between episodes done the work to get the sulfur from the local area driven over here or belted over here, so that one we looked at over there, I've got the belts kind of run over on a nice little kind of thing that we'll take a look at maybe later on. And then the one that's over here in the gas patch right there, it's right there, you can just barely see it. It's just down and dirtied over to that point because you have to wear a gas mask from like right there all the way over to it and back. Plus, there was a bunch of nasty critters in there and all kinds of things. So, it was kind of fun to deal with. Plus, we kind of cleared up the rest of the slugs around in the area, or at least most of the slugs. I think I might still have one like right over there somewhere. No big deal. So the other thing here about this is if you notice how off this platform is with that building. What we're going to do once we get this structure built, because we're going to need about another 460, I think it was 460, something like that. Something around like that, 460 sulfur to complete this, is that we're going to use this train station even though I have all this stuff. I basically laid all this down so that I made sure I had the parts here. What we're going to do is once we get that sorted out, we're going to connect this. I'm going to rebuild this platform so that it kind of lays up nicely with this building, and we'll rerun the track and everything and all that kind of stuff. This is mainly just here right now so that we can get this built, but we are going to kind of probably use a little bit of the crazy little track line that I did to do some stuff so that it'll look kind of cool when you're coming in here. Not that you're ever going to come over here once it's built, although like I said, I say that. Likely, like I said, we're going to also use the leftover coal plus a little bit of the leftover sulfur that we're going to bring over. We're going to go ahead and bring over what's left, at least what we can mine right now from the area that we're going to get it from. So there is, hide the menu, cannot wait for the new map. There is a bunch of sulfur right down here that we're currently just got a couple of miners on, and then there's another sulfur node up here. What I'm going to do is we're going to build a train station that's probably going to come down off of the main track down into here, and then just all it's going to do is loop back and forth and loop back and forth, and it'll just dead end down there so that it will go ahead and gather up all of what's left of the sulfur down in this area and then drag it all the way back over to where we are so that it functions. Now, I'm going to bring way too much. I'm going to bring all of it, and we're going to overproduce compact coal here probably by, I don't know, 50 or a little bit more, I think, just so that we have too much. The idea here is I do not want to bottleneck the fuel production or the turbo fuel production because of the fact we have a train ride that has to go from here to there, to here. So we're going to do a lot of back and forth work, and we're going to figure things out. We're going to get things sorted, and we're going to be good to go. I didn't realize there was a void hole right there. Is that what that is? Huh. I did not realize there was a void hole over there. I have to go look at that one of these days. Generally speaking, the hole with the white circle around it is a void hole. So like here, this is a void hole. That's a void hole. Anything circled around the outside edge, that's all void. Yeah, interesting. Cool. I learn something once again every single day. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to play around with something that's very simple. This is a lot of assemblers. It's just a lot of assemblers. And, you know, you can just grab assemblers and you can do this and then belt them in the way that we normally belt them in. So let me see, make sure pick, make sure connection done. Like I can just do, well, not that one, 9. Think it's like a so, and then just do something like that and you're done. I mean, basically with the mod that we currently have, Mr. Bean, you're not helping. This goes really quickly, but it also ends up looking kind of garbage, basically, if you ask me. And for something like this, I know it sounds silly, this is going to be one of those areas that I am going to revisit, mainly because of the fact we're going to take the leftover sulfur, the leftover coal that's around here. I mean, we're not going to be able to use all. I mean, actually, those 2 nodes right there are going to be enough to do just about all of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit off of this one. I've got it set to 100 parts right now, or 107 parts, but I think what we'll probably do is we'll just use this one as the extra, which means I've got a whole pure node of coal sitting over there. We can do whatever the heck we want to with. Well, we're going to have a whole pure node of coal, which means I'll probably at least have most of the sulfur I need. So we can make an awful lot of Noblesse. We can make a lot of these things because there's iron all over the place. There's iron on top of that platform. There's iron, like, right there. Where is it? Yeah, they're right there. There's 3 pure iron nodes right here, which is, like I said, one of the reasons why I tend to build steel over here is because there's a lot of stuff. And of course you got some water so that you can run the Caterium and do the Caterium way you want to. This area is going to be one of our, shall we say, industrial areas. This area right here, in this area right here, starting from over here and doing a little bit of stuff over here, we're going to build a lot of stuff right here because there's a lot of really good things. Now, I do know for a fact that they're probably going to maybe rework a little bit of the Titan Forest. It's fine. It's not a big deal. We're likely going to build... Well, we're going to build aluminum over here. We're going to build the heat sinks. We're going to build the aluminum casings. We're going to build batteries. We're going to build a bunch of stuff over in this general area to kind of go around the outside of the map. So to start all that process, let's start by building something goofy like this. So with soft clearance now, what's really cool about soft clearance is that I can do goofy things kind of like so. So let me see. I'm going to grab a belt. And I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to do, let me see, we should be able to do something like that. And which way did I face the other direction? I probably should just do that. We'll just do that. Okay, cool. Then I get the line to draw. We used to not be able to do that. You used to not be able to do that. You used to not be able to do this. So you can kind of have a little bit of fun. To the point, like I say now, what I can do if I'd actually line that up correctly is if I do this dead center on the building, I can do this down, although I can scoot this in a little bit further and make it work a little better. But I mean, look at it. It's in the arm of the machine. It can do whatever, you know, all those kinds of things. Do the same thing back over here. You can put more stuff in. You can hang out with some more things. We used to not be able to do that. You used to have to kind of fiddle around and make things look pretty. And that was interesting. It put its own belt in, whatever. Anyhow, so you used to have to kind of just, worry about things and make things kind of pretty in other ways, meaning you'd sink belts into the floor or you'd sink belts into the ceiling. So what we can do now here is technically this and this are all in clearance. And theoretically, I could actually put this one down a couple of blocks right inside of it so that I can kind of keep it in a little bit of a smaller footprint. Well, I mean smaller in the fact that technically this should be like out here. So it's skinnier and it actually fits inside a 3 a 3 foundation area with plenty of room. So what's the fun part about some of the things that we already have to mess with here is once you get something like this built, this is just the beginning of it. This is just the thought. There are multiple ways of how you can do this. You can lay all of your machines out, and then you can go working with one belt system and run all the belt systems out, and then do the next belt, do the belt system out. Or you can build one little thing like this and use a mod called Area Actions, which we can't really see right now because it's not there, but it's a little bitty thing that you have to craft in a equipment shop, and it will allow you to access the mod and play around. What Area Actions is really, really good at is copy and paste. Now, there are certain things it can't copy. Belts, pipes, lifts, things and stuff like that. But just getting that thing and that thing and that thing in the position that I need them in order to be able to run belts really quickly makes my life a whole heck of a lot easier. I have to do this 42 times. 42 times, 42, 43 times. We're going to fill this whole side up and that whole side up with them, and then maybe do a couple other things. What's cool about Area Actions is once you get your really cool little design, you can copy and paste it as many times as you want to. So by starting, we need to go ahead and do a couple of things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the thing, and that'll open up our nice little window. And I'll make sure I hit clear a couple of times just to make sure that there's nothing selected. It's a mod. It's a little funky. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Actually, while we're at it, let's just do a real quick save just in case before we start playing. Go ahead. Thank you. Good. Done. Yes. All right. Cool. So let's do a little bit of this. We're going to place and remove corners. I want to just get as much of the machine as I can in, which means I need to make sure I get at least that in as well. So we're going to go click. That's a corner. We'll go all the way to the back, and again, make sure you're going to go far enough you can catch that dude right there. Click. That's another one. And then I think I can do about right there. Okay, and then we're going to come back over. Now, technically, I could do this with a 3-point. I could just put it right here, and it'd catch whatever the thing is. But since we have the ability to do 4, we'll just go ahead and do 4. As far as I know, it'll let you do as many corners as you want to try to select a whole bunch of an area. But since this is just very simple, easy, something like this that we want to copy, this is what we're going to copy. Now, notice one thing. It has it highlighted and selected from the bottom. I mean, clear to the bottom of the world, all the way to the top of the world. So anything that's in that box, it's going to copy and then try to paste, which means all of the foundations and anything else that it touches. We don't want that. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure we set the bottom, which we're going to set it to the top of this foundation here, and we're going to set the top to the foundation right there. Now, we're in the kind of the white area that's kind of hard to tell because of things, but if I come out of the top of this, we should be able to see that we're now selecting just that little dude right there and the stuff underneath of it, which means it's going to grab only the stuff that it's in between, which means technically it should not grab that concrete, and it shouldn't grab that concrete. It should just grab what's right here. If we want to say we now have something that we need to do and we need to build a line of them that are all the same, or we need to copy them up, we now have the ability to do that by using the copy paste function. Now, depending on where you started with your XYZ direction is where you need to figure out what we want to go. But for more or less, because this is an assembler, I need to move it 10 meters or whatever it is, which direction. So if I push 10 and I hit preview, in the X position this time for this time around, it's going to be over here. It's going to move it over, and if I hit the hide button, that's not there right now. It says it's there, it's not there right now. Actually, it is right there. It's one of those things. This is the correct spacing, so this is how you figure it out. This will work. We can then go do OK, and then it'll copy and paste it. It's copied 4 things. So the assembler plus 3 of the things, 2 splitters and 1 merger. Now, like I said, it won't do the belting, but just getting it to this point, that's a kind of a thing that where this is really fancy, because of the fact that once we did that once, that means we can do it again. And we can do it again. And we can do it again. And we can do it one more time, so that I have now a row of 6 assemblers with their wonderful mergers and splitters where I need them. Now, I know you're all going to say that's nice and handy and that's cool. Why don't you just do it the normal way? Why don't you just lay things out? So once in a while, I like to kind of just have a little fun, because this is going to look really nice, dynamically strung out between everything. So that we do this, and then we say we're going to do here to there, here to there, here to there. Whoop, no, there to there, there to there, there to there. And then what we'll do is out here, it'll either go upwards and connect with the one up top, or it'll go around and head that direction. The thing is now that's a whole heck of a lot less more placing for me. Once again, we've stopped doing all the fun stuff. So now what we need to do is, the reason why I say is, okay, that's a big deal. That really wasn't all that bad. I want this exact setup on that platform, on that platform, on that platform, on this platform, that platform, that platform, and that platform. That's a lot of building I don't want to do. And it's something in a game like this, Factorio for that matter, Dyson for that matter, you could copy and just plunk, 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 and do whatever you want to do. So part of what's nice about this mod, for what it is worth, is that once you have all that done, you can clear it and we go, okay, cool. Now we can go ahead and redo the copy paste selection areas. So if we do this and these and then run down here, make sure I get all of this, click, we have an area that's now been copied. And again, notice all the way to the ceiling, all the way to the floor, set the bottom, set the top, and go, okay, well, now how high do I need to move it? Well, this is, again, one of those kinds of things, knowing the distance of how tall certain things are. I know that is a 12-meter distance. So if I just go copy, paste in a Z direction 12, and I hit preview, it'll pop them in up there, and that's pretty close to where they need to be. So if we go up and check, we'll see they're pretty much right in line with where we need them to be. All right, cool. So, okay, done. Do it again. Copy, paste. Z, 24. Preview. Go ahead. Notice they're up there. We'll check them. They'll be fine. Nice. Do it again. Okay. Done. Okay. Good deal. Copy, paste. 36. Okay. I'm not even going to worry about previewing it. Trust me. They're all there. Clear it. Looky there. So if we go look, all of the machines, all of the splitters, everything is exactly the same from the top to the bottom. And again, all you do is you just come back and you do that. And that's going to be a heck of a lot easier, at least for the most part, because I want a goofy looking design kind of like this. The big problem now is I want that exact same thing over here. If I didn't have all of this concrete here, what I would do, and for that matter, what we might just do while we're sitting here thinking about it, is if you just select everything clear to the ceiling and just select the whole thing, scoot it over here and flip it, then it would be done. Right? Right. So, if we want everything over from here over to here, we got to kind of make this kind of disappear. Oops, booped a kind of a thing here. Had a little bit of a problem with the recording. It crashed on me, so I just went ahead and did a little bit of stuff. Cut this stuff out. But basically what our whole idea here, our whole goal is what I want to show with this mod, and what's really nice about it is the ability to be able to take something kind of like this, right, and just repeatedly copy it wherever you think you need it, so long as you have the materials. So let's just go ahead and reselect everything this time, and we're going to play around with it. This time I'm actually going to copy the outside of stuff. So we'll say right about there. As long as you're looking at a surface, you can press and click the button to select. So I want to make sure we get the concrete pillars at least selected and all this other stuff. Poor birds. I know. I got your space. You can't sit in anymore. It's terrible. And we'll do one right there. And we'll go over here and we'll put another one at the base of that, and that should select everything inside the box. Everything inside the box. And then we're going to make sure that we don't select this bottom piece. So we'll go ahead and say that's the bottom, and then we'll just leave the top. We'll just leave the top. Everything up there needs to go. Everything needs to happen. So what I want to do now is I need to put it over here. And so what we're going to need to do, well, we're going to put it over here for one, and we want to rotate it 180 degrees. So the fun part about this is we're going to come into the thing. We're going to kind of stand generally in the middle of where we want to rotate things about. And we're going to say we're going to rotate it about right, maybe the center of that little block right there, okay? So if I hit copy paste and hit select rotation center and I click, what it's going to do is it's going to close it, let me click where I want to set the rotation from, and then open the menu back up. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to rotation 180 degrees. So exactly flip everything and turn it around and put it behind us. Now, this should be a minus X move. Should be a minus X move. So let's move it. I'm going to go 30 degrees, or 30. So every foundation roughly is 10. So we're going to hit that. We're going to hit preview. We're going to hide it, and we're going to turn around. And right behind us is the majority of the structure that we have built moved a little bit. Now, we need to still go quite a ways. So that's not where we want it to go. So then let's try minus 40. Preview. Hide. Now, I should be counting. I know I should be counting. We need to go, well, that's actually on the line. That's good. So we just need to go, what, minus 60 then? Minus 60, looks like. Let's try this. Let's stand out of it so it doesn't put it on us. Minus 60, which you can count the foundations. If you just count the foundations, it'll tell you how far you need to go. Preview. So if we're looking right now, I must say it's probably a little off. Hide. Yeah, all right, so we need to come back a couple, so let's see, 58 maybe. Preview. Hide. Getting close. 7. Preview. 6. Preview. All right, cool. So if we go ahead and hide, we'll now notice that that is lined up with that. And if we come down here, this should be lined up as well, and all that kind of stuff. Now, how you know how far to go from things is you need to count from your rotational point, which our rotational point was the middle of this foundation plus a little bit, because it's kind of, that's how it's going to work. So we needed to go from here to here, basically. So that's the distance. And it can get a little wonky. I mean, these are technically, I guess they're 10 or whatever they're 8. I don't know what they are. I guess I should probably count. I think they're 8. So whatever. Dang it, I screwed up and let it go. Set recipe, copy paste, do that again. We had a minus 56 rotation of 100 or 180. I screwed up. I shouldn't have done that. Preview. Should have put it right back where it was. We'll check one more time to make sure it's right. I see that that is lined up. It did not copy anything under this line, so we shouldn't have a problem with it. Let's go ahead and hit OK. Bang. 211 buildings. Now, that 211 buildings is a little off because we don't need... I took some of the assemblers off the top floor up there because we don't need all 6 of them up there on both sides. I think I need 4 on one side and 3 on the other to be able to do the magic and the work that we have. So let's clear so we don't have to look at all the crazy colors, and then we can kind of do some other things. One thing this mod does, and I'm going to say it a couple of times, you guys might have seen it already. Okay, I know that. That's it. It's going to tell you a couple of things. One thing it will let you do is build without having the stuff in your inventory. So if you want to play in kind of creative without playing in creative, you can use the mod to do it. To a point, you can fly. So we'll hit the enable on, and we'll fly without any kind of thing. Now, if you're just building, so like you said, you can see the ones that I removed. That's fine. Well, we're going to end up, like I said, I'll probably end up doing something funky with them. Like the third one, it really needs 6, and 6 of them are going to run flat out, and 7 is going to run like not much at all. So I'm thinking I might just put one down here somewhere just as a tuner duty. But like you said, you can kind of use it to fly. It has pretty janky, whatever kind of options. And you can die from fall damage if you are up here and do the thing. It is a very, very handy mod, and it's one that's worth playing with, because the other thing here is we didn't set any of the recipes, and this is another one of those things that really sucks. So if while I'm currently flying, if I just go tick and tick and just select it all, and somewhere out there, and now that I've got all those buildings selected, I can say set recipe, and we are sitting in here. I should be able to alternate compacted coal. Okay, all 42 of them should now say compacted coal, whereas they didn't before. And that is one of the main reasons why you want to learn how to use that mod over Smart, is because Smart will only copy stuff from one assembler to another or one machine to another if you use the extension function, which is off of their thing here. So anything that those are going to be connected to, if I take that and put a recipe in this machine, it will copy it down to the rest of these when I press build. So that's one of the handy things that comes with area actions over Smart Mod. Area actions is a little clunky, as you guys can tell. And it's a little funky, and I've had it crash the game quite a bit. And actually, I think what I'm going to get ready to do is let's disable our fly here, and we're going to go ahead and save the game again, because I don't want to do all that again. Thank you. Not exit. We're going to go back to game, and I'm going to belt all this in, and I will see you guys, I think, in the next one, where we're going to figure out how we're going to get the rest of this stuff going. We're going to turn it on, and then we're going to build the ammunition factory that's going to go with this thing. So I think for right now, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all. I've got a lot of belt work to do, and I want to get all the belt work in and the powering in and all those kinds of things. This is one of those reasons why I said you can do this easily. You can do this the easy way. Like I said, you can just, plop stuff down and, oh yeah, that's right. It's a wonky little thing that sometimes does. Sometimes, especially right now, it will do it. It's doing it right now. What is placed down by Smart is not necessarily always capable of being pick blocked like it was placed in vanilla. And that is another, not Smart area actions. However, you can select a building or select other things and have things built. So this system is going to be a little weird, but it's going to function just perfectly fine, meaning I can't pick block stuff off of it, but I can just build it, and it'll work. It'll work perfectly fine. I've used the mod many, many, many times. Lots of people use the mod. It's just it has a little bit of quirkiness, and that's modded, so that's just the way it works. I try not to use it unless we're going to build something goofy and silly, and I hope this will work, because I kind of have some other plans as to how we're going to build some, like, scaffoldings and some other things in here and hopefully make it kind of neat. So I think for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get to belting, and I will see you all in the next episode, hopefully when we get ready to start turning this thing on. So until then, bye. Get back up here. That's cool right there.